This community is called Heart Path because there is a deeper dimension of our being, the heart dimension, and that the center of consciousness that tends to be caught up, entangled, immersed in the mind, in imagination, and all this ego stuff of me, others, world, people, places, things, past, future, present, this like incessant, compulsive stream of mental activity, formations, which our center of consciousness tends to go up into and stay. So, this being like the mind and ego dimension, it is possible for there to be a fundamental shift of consciousness from the mind ego dimension to the heart dimension, which is a gradual process for most people. And the practice or the path or this transformation in this particular style and approach to the Dhamma is the development of heartfelt humility and sincerity. What is even humility? What is sincerity? What is that quality within us of heartfelt humility, heartfelt sincerity? To find that, clarify that, attune to it, intimate with it, and to be able to access it, and then grow it, develop it, for it to suffuse and pervade one's entire being. It takes a lot of work. And then from this development of heartfelt humility, heartfelt sincerity, these are the fundamental qualities for us to start to open our eyes, open our hearts to the reality. Bringing forth heartfelt humility and sincerity. And as what these qualities open our eyes, open our hearts to this internal reality, what this mind and this ego is doing, what's actually happening, as we open our eyes, open the hearts through humility and sincerity, to also the external reality. Mm. Some people sooner, some people later, we can start to feel touched, 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 touched by the reality of goodness when it comes into our life. You know, when we are in this superficial, habitual state, you know, a goodness happens, we receive help, and it's like, oh, thank you. And then you kind of move on with your day. But when one is developing heartfelt humility and sincerity, finding it, attuning to it, clarifying it, rooting in it, when a goodness comes into one's life from externally, when the eyes are becoming more and more open, the heart is becoming more and more open, you just feel like appreciation, gratitude, it just like touches that contact, touches the heart sensitivity, and it rises forth from the core of one's being. And as we open the eyes, open the heart to also our internal reality of the goodnesses, wholesomenesses, and skillfulnesses of our own being, to feel touched, to appreciate, feel grateful for our own wholesome qualities. And also, as we open the eyes, open the heart with sincerity and humility to the reality of unwholesomeness, of the harms, the agitations, afflictions that we cause to our own being, that we cause to others. The conscience starts to gain more prominence within us. The conscience is like this sensor within us, and it's totally transcends logic, and it's a very primordial thing. And when the opened eyes, open heart with sincerity and humility uh, contacts the unwholesome, the harm, the agitations, the defiling things, the things that dirty our energies, dirty our beings. It touches the heart, it touches the conscience, and you can't help but feel like a wholesome sense of remorse. You can't help but feel a wholesome sense of like feeling sorry. And it can start to spring forth from our being, from that touch, from our heart touching the reality. And that wholesome remorse, wholesome sorriness can cleanse our being, cleanse our energies, cleanse our heart. And as one develops this opening of the eyes, opening of the heart with humility and sincerity, starts to feel this gratitude towards the wholesome internally and externally, starts to experience this wholesome sense of remorse and conscience for the unwholesome. Our heart opens wider and wider. And this phenomenal kind of empathy can start to come forth from our being. Oh, and because with this sincerity and humility, we are facing the noble truth of suffering, not pushing it away, but embracing it. And as we develop understanding through this sincerity and humility, opening the eyes, opening the heart, as we gain deeper and deeper understanding, heartfelt understanding of the reality of our suffering, to transform the ignoble, ignorant, common suffering that everyone experiences, to transform that into the first noble truth of suffering. Right here in this heart. Through humility and sincerity and the development of the conscience. As one humbles with that understanding, humbles to the reality of goodness, feeling that gratitude, feeling touch, it humbles one. As one experiences remorse, feels that sorriness, it humbles one. And as one really opens the eyes, opens the heart to the suffering of this mind, the suffering of this ego, it humbles one. And a beautiful understanding can start to develop in the heart. So understanding, the emotional experience of understanding is humbling. And as one develops that understanding and humbleness through these things, uh, you start to feel like empathy, like people, because you start to understand your suffering, and you've been humbled. Then, when other people start to enter into your consciousness, you just like this empathy starts to radiate forth, this care. And then, as that develops, uh, and as one humbles deeper and deeper, as understanding develops deeper and deeper, we can start to experience a greater sense of calm, of ease, of tranquility from this purification, cleansing, and opening of the heart.